are here in Qonce to launch our festive safety campaign. As we are beginning the festive season, we want to ensure that our ability to intervene on safety issues is capacitated. That is why we are gathered here today. We want to ensure that, as usual, we have a safe festive season. This is what we do almost every year to ensure that the citizens of Buffalo City are safe as they enjoy the rest with their families. Road safety is a key component of what we seek to achieve, because we don't want to see carnage on our roads. That is why you see traffic officers here, the mobile alcohol evidence center, which will be made available in all our roadblocks to ensure that people, as the hype rise, they behave well on our roads to prevent unnecessary deaths and injuries. We want to eradicate completely the consumption of alcohol in our roads, because our belief is that many of the accidents that we experience are a consequence of abuse of alcohol, people drinking and driving and becoming reckless in the course of doing so, and lives are lost as the end result. So that's the purpose.
Since we know that tourism has been in the mouths of many destinations over the past 2 decades, South Africa is not different. We're also trying to make it a point that we leverage the benefits from the industry. COVID robbed us of an opportunity to welcome and drive people to visit different destinations within our country. 2022 is becoming the first year where people will go on holidays, spend time with their families, and most importantly, attend the well-awaited events that are happening across the country. In Buffalo City, we have a wide variety of events. Some of them, they are targeting people who are doing charity. Some of them, they are about community development. And today, we have someone with us who is behind one of the biggest racing events in South Africa, which is Berlin November. We have Unokala, Ujiane, Luthando Bara is with us today. So we will have a brief conversation with him, where he comes from, how did he join in the tourism space, up to where he is today. By the way, my name is Smash, as you already know, and sorry for my voice, I have flu, but we really had to make sure that we make this episode happen, because it's important not only to us, but also to inform and let people know what we have in our shores. Gianni,
Thanks, Mash.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's been a minute.
It's been Let's blame COVID.
Yes, let's blame COVID. Let's blame COVID. But I highly believe that we use COVID as a scapegoat because we have each other's numbers. But we don't make that phone call. We do not make that phone call.
We postpone that phone call.
All the time. No.
We postpone that phone call.
Which is bad.
Bad.
Which is bad.
But I think what COVID has done is to remind us that we need to keep check. You only realize now that there are some amongst us who have departed. And you only realize that when you try to make that final call and people tell you that no, that person is no longer around. So it's very important that I think COVID has brought us together now.
As you know, Mbana, I've just checked the statistics of tourism from last year and this year. And from January last year to June, at the beginning of the year, in South Africa, trips that were happening were about 7.1 million. And this year, from January to June, they are about 13.5, of which tourism is getting there now. People are just interested in traveling. I think it's like beginning November now. Yeah. So, Puti, we have you today.
Thank you.
It's my first time seeing you. Oh, really? I do know your event. It's been years.
Okay.
But now I am interested. Kulumtu wenza lento. So, Luthando. Who is Luthando? Rodman. Very simple answer, right?
Yeah.
Rodman.
Rodman.
So Rodman. Who is Luthando? Where Luthando was born? Luthando.
Okay. No, thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity once more. Luthando Bara is originally from Port St. John's.
PSJ.
Why coast?
In a small village called Gogogo, Luthando. I grew up there. I did my elementary education that side. I then connected with this side of the Kai when I went to study
Forte.
Yes. Okay. Then I was to become part of this side of the country, as it were. So I've been here ever since, from about 1993
up until now.
To now.
It's 29 years now.
Yeah. So I have claimed my
your stripes.
You see,
you are a citizen.
Exactly. So I'm here, and I stay here. I pay rates here.
Everything happens here.
I've got businesses here. Of course, I'm a resident of South Africa.
At the end of the day.
I'm also based in Johannesburg, but I do businesses in all provinces.
All 9 provinces?
9, without any exclusion.
Okay, so Luthando, what were you studying at Fort?
Strangely.
No, I'm asking this for a reason.
Strangely. I studied a bachelor's degree in applied communications. Then I did project management. Then I did postgrad studies there in telecommunications and in information policy. Then I went to Stellenbosch, where I did an MDP. Then I went to the US, Michigan School of Information. And then I worked at Forte as a lecturer.
Wow.
And then I was director of communications and spokesperson. Then that was my last employer. Then I left.
Then you left.
Okay. I'm loving this story.
So I've been employed by one,
by one employer.
And then you employed yourself after.
And then after that you were like, nah.
So I've got 2 employers, myself and Forte.
And Forte. So how has that journey been for you? From switching from being an employee now to being your own employer, like being your own boss.
It's been a mix, frustrating but fulfilling, because as long as you understand your purpose, I've always felt that my purpose is not to work for someone else and be paid. I rather create more opportunities. So I always knew that mine was overflowing. I needed to give. So that is what I have been doing. And of course, it's frustrating in an environment where going into business is just an escape from unemployment and poverty. I went there because of the love I had for business. So when it frustrates me, I don't panic, because it's still what I know I want to do. I fail a lot, by the way. I fail a lot, but
we will get to that.
I never give up. I have love for business.
So what I'm interested in now, you were employee, you went to US, So uhlangene phi events? Doing your own events, iqale nini?
Actually, it should be like, when did you switch from communication to tourism?
Yes.
It
Because you didn't just go to events, you went to tourism.
Yeah.
I got to tourism via gambling. So my company was employed to administer some trusts. One trust was a Matola Trust that was part of the Hosan. And then I administered the Mbasa Development Trust under Sun International. So those are tourism products.
Yeah.
So the switch started at that level when I got exposed to a number of things that are happening. You go to the Durban July and you realize that, what am I seeing here?
An opportunity.
All black people coming here and not one with a horse, and they're spending about 200 million, with the Durban July. And I thought that, look, you have the Eastern Cape where traditional horse racing
It's huge.
It's huge, and being more practiced as a socio-cultural activity. And there was a need, in my view, to monetize it and convert it into something that people could generate income. But of course, it being heritage, it becomes a tourism product that the province could be proud of, especially with its history. I mean, it dates back as 1820s. So there's and with that, that evolution from ox racing to horse racing, to the extent that the name Umjaho in Xhosa is actually from Yah. So that's the evolution, So
Yeah.
so it's more borrowed, as it were, but it has become our heritage, especially the belt from Mount Kokstad, Mount Elief, Qumbu, Tsolo, Tyuwa, Ncibza.
The Transkei.
Yes, you'll find a lot of horses that side of town.
Hayi, kalendlela uyinabisa ngayo, it's quite a story, and I could tell that you've spent time in trying to see how does the one overlap to the other. Okay, so now As someone who left employment and then you came into being your own employer, are there any regrets so far?
None whatsoever. Only on month ends, I miss my payslip.
You missed the pay slip.
Just
Not the employment, the
and
pay
remember
slip.
that where I worked, you would get your payslip about 3 days before the money actually gets into your account. So you actually miss that day when that
Be excited.
so that you can check what you are expecting. In what we're doing now,
There's no space.
there is no date. If you put an invoice now, it's just a waiting game.
Just wait.
And it's one of the things that I personally fight against. I just think that it's unnecessary. Service providers must be paid on time. Make people's lives easier. They take their money that could have paid school fees for their children and they use it to do business so that it can multiply. They expect to be paid on time so that those other things do not suffer. So it's just grossly unfair and selfish, especially for government understanding where we're coming from, not to pay businesses on time.
Yeah. So now, with all these challenges in place, it is difficult to develop sustainable projects because when there is no fixed amount of money that is coming on a monthly basis, your balance sheet will lag there and there.
It affects planning. It affects your credit scoring. It destroys families. You have children. There's expectation on your side to do certain things, and children can't be eating the excuses that I'm sorry, so and so had said we will be paid today, but it looks like we are not on the run. You are in the next run. All of those things. I think that we need to develop a caring system, and a caring system is the one that respects everyone, especially because, come to think of it, government will never do anything without business.
No.
Yeah.
Because if they want water, business must give them water, then they must pay for that water after business has given them the water. So then there should be an appreciation of the role of business. By the way, I'm the president of the Black Business Forum, so I tend to cross over. So
Two heads.
I can say now that I have left the tourism podcast.
I noticed.
So much, I've been so interested in understanding, but you've been involved in a number of business ventures before being Luthando. So can you please take us through what happened to Ground X, both the club and the hotel, and as well as Legends Marathon?
Maybe let me start with the Legends Marathon.
Yeah.
We started the Legends Marathon in around the same time we started the Belly November. And it was really out of trying to add value to the repositioning of the Eastern Cape as the home of legends. So my thinking was that come up with something that adds value and better interpretation to
The brand.
the brand. So and I can tell you now, the Legends Marathon is about the only thing that has come out of that program in terms of a product that is tangible.
That is tangible.
That gets people moving, that drives tourism. In 2016, we had about 16 countries participating in the Legends Marathon. By 2016, the Legends Marathon was an internationally accredited marathon. That's why we could attract athletes from Russia, from the US, from Germany. So, and of course, the problem in the Eastern Cape is that with the change of administration, you know, government support changes.
It changes.
You know, I think people tend to think that these departments are theirs, you know.
Yeah.
So when you come, you say this one was so and so's thing. Then
Now they want to put all of that aside and start with something new.
Yes, and so we had to make a choice. You know, we had two programs running: the Legends Marathon and both of them now losing support from some key government departments. We then had to decide which one do we drop. And unfortunately,
Legends had to suffer. Legend had to suffer.
Yeah, we were paying about $1 million in prize monies. No one has done that after us, you know.
The only one.
You see, so we wanted to take it to. Of course, it was already a qualifier for Comrades Marathon. It was an official qualifier for Two Oceans and Soweto Marathon. So we are proud of the brand that we had built. And we still think that we are open to discussions. You know, there are a few people that have approached us to say, please, can we push for the return of Legends Marathon? And I will agree to that to the extent that it ends in Berlin.
If it makes sense.
It must end in Berlin.
But it must make it must
It
also
must
make
first,
sense.
It must first make sense.
It must make sense.
And then end in Berlin.
It makes sense.
So
it makes sense.
So and remember that it was carefully crafted because it was 68 kilometers from East London to Bisho. The logic being 67 kilometers were the Mandela. You know, then the one will be yours. So, you know, so that was the thinking, you know. So there was some importance in the number 68, you know. So as I'm saying, we are open, and there are a few colleagues that, especially in the running fraternity, that are saying, let's open a discussion and see if we can bring it back.
So okay, there's something I'm interested, which is
Oh, you asked about ground else.
yes. Okay, let us finish this.
Yes.
Let us finish these questions first. Yeah.
There were two ground X's. The first one was highly successful. The one that was in
Quickly.
in Nahun.
Yeah, the one in Nahun.
Yes. So that one was closed because of its success and the noise.
The noise. The noise. You're polluting.
Yeah, it became uncontrollable, you know, in terms of the numbers. You know, it was financially it was very fulfilling, and you know, but with the complaints from
the
neighborhood, you know, we just felt that it was not worth it. You know, you do not want to be a pariah because you want money. Everyone is unhappy with you, so we just felt that, you know what, let's. And then the opportunity came for the second venue, where we moved to almost 6 months later. That is the Settlers Way. Yes. So that one was more a fully fledged tourism product. In that we had a hotel, we had a restaurant, we had a club, we had an events venue. And again, then COVID hit. So it was unsustainable, you know. At the same time, we also had the chairman's, which we also closed around about the same time of COVID. And, you know, so
you're closing in 2019.
I've lost two.
You've lost two.
You closed this one 2019. Oh, okay.
So there's no intention of bringing them back.
Never.
Never. That chapter.
That is closed, eh? Closed, done.
That chapter is closed. That chapter.
Done. Unless it's owned by someone else, and then we coach that person to.
Oh, okay.
You know, we can keep the brands. We can get someone to run with the brands. You know,
But in
and
terms
coach.
of
But
involvement,
yeah, because since COVID, I moved to Johannesburg, so it would be difficult to run such a platform full time. The only thing that must get me here full time is the Berlin November. So it being our anniversary next year, it means I may have to spend more time here. You know, so that's the only reason. Otherwise, but someone else can run it.
someone else can take it.
Call me.
If they phone,
And you will coach him, eh?
if they phone, I must take it.
Yeah, I must coach you with your money. I don't want to coach no one with my money. You know,
Coach them with that. They must fail with their money.
fail with your money.
Fail with your money.
You
And a lot of people, they think that it's easy to run businesses. Aye.
You see, someone says to you, I want to start a small business, and they will name it, and they say, please, I am sure about this thing, it will work. Please invest.
Such and such amount of money.
Exactly. And when you start asking questions, the person gets irritated, you know.
But you want to be sure.
You know, and you want to be sure because now it's no longer about you, it's about me. It's my money.
And your money.
You know. And I can't see you on TikTok when I've borrowed your money.
No,
You can't.
you can't be on TikTok when it's supposed to be working.
You see, I expect you to be busy there, you know. Luckily, TikTok now has a date. In the past, TikTok did not have a date, so you wouldn't know when this person posted. So you find that maybe the person posted before
Before your business, you know.
You get my point, but now, you got to monitor and watch over your money. You know?
There's no other way. There's no other way because at the end of the day, we live to make money and difference without money is pointless.
But what's even worse is that remember that the mistakes you have made for yourself, you do not want someone else to make the same mistake with your money. You get my point? Because I have made my mistakes, my Ground X mistakes, my ex-Africa mistakes, my Legends Marathon mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I do not want someone to take my money to go make those mistakes again. You know? Use your money to make mistakes. If I give you money,
It must be.
I whisper in your ear every hour.
No.
No, you can't.
Are you taking care of my money?
You can't tell me about you being, you know, look, I'm on top of things, bro, and I'm, you know, no, you can't be on top of things without me knowing.
Yeah.
You know, what are those things you're on top of? I must ask questions.
You become more careful about your money now.
That's the only way. The only way to make money is to be careful with the money you have.
And actually understanding and knowing where your money goes and what it does.
Where it sleeps. How it's.
It must not sleep in a club.
No, it can't.
No.
You know,
or on TikTok.
I can't hear that stories about you being in some club in the morning when
Champagne shower.
No, you can't do that, you know.
So the minute you hear that,
No,
I won't sleep.
a simple phone call that does not even deserve a text. A phone call. Where are you?
What are you doing?
Is the money safe?
Is the money safe? Is the money safe?
Yeah.
And then from all of that, you've become a very key player in tourism development, not only in Buffalo City but in the Eastern Cape as well. Because Legends Marathon was making strides. Now Berlin November is opening a window each and every year for the province to be recognized and the province to be acknowledged. Okay, so now, during this fiscal year, the municipality, actually the mayor, recently stated that no funding for events this year. How did you take that?
Well, yeah, you're right. It's an issue.
They like,
At first, it's an issue, but when you drill down, you realize that availing support and funding support and general support are two different things. So the city may not be giving us money, but we're getting enormous support from them, you know. And now when you're not getting money, you then start to realize how important the other non-financial support is, you know. So I must say, you know, I mean, we understand the environment, you know, but we truly appreciate Buffalo City embracing the product. We are we are in a good or bad position because we are the first event of the summer.
yeah.
So everything that
And you will take all
could
the
have been
stones.
tested,
You will
you
take
know,
all the.
you
Starts with him.
Take all the
You
stones.
see, so I was saying, I mean, these guys are they serious? Few days before the event,
And then-
boom, this, you know. But look, we did not get support in 2020. We did our event successfully within the limited numbers. 2021, we did not get financial support. We still had the event, you know.
Still
so
managed.
ours was to say we cannot break the cycle. Otherwise, now we wouldn't know whether we are in our 9th year or in our. You get my point. So we took a decision based on our futuristic plan about our 10th anniversary. So we said for that reason we are going to stage the event yearly, regardless of
Of of whoever who comes on board.
Yes. So we've been carrying on.
So this side, it was a COVID. This side now is the municipality is not funding, and you need to keep on going, you know, with the beginning November. So what is the growth plan? Because you never know that maybe next year they will fund, the year after, you know. So what is the plan, growth plan?
I think if you look at our slogan or motto, or mantra, is that we are more than just a horse race.
Yeah.
And we are more than just an event, you know. We see ourselves as an equestrian development program, a heritage development program, a tourism development program, you know, a sports development program. So the event is more to celebrate the strides that should have been done, you know. With Berlin November, we have now the first black jockey from the Eastern Cape, Pilasande Mqudi, from Devon, you know. And that is what makes us feel good. That of course, it's a pity that 26 years on, you're still talking about a first black jockey in the Eastern Cape. It just shows how. And by the way, he actually gets no support from the province, you know. So we still, maybe in 50 years, we will have the first female jockey that is black. You know, it's just painful in that sense. However, we committed to the program. We want to see blacks participating in the 2 billion equestrian industry, where blacks are not represented at all. We only go there as consumers of somebody else's product. You know, we go there to look good, to look, you know, but
And we have
we are
nothing
not.
to
We are,
show.
we are not participating. We do not own thoroughbreds, you know, that are properly trained. We do not breed. We do not export. You know, some people come here, especially the Arabs, to buy horses. We are not geared. So we're saying, let us build an industry so that with that industry we can start saying to other countries, actually we can give you better horses that have been bred, trained in environments that are similar to other countries. So it's yeah, as I said, it's more than just so we've got the whole year of being busy, and we think that once we start as we are starting now with the development in Berlin, we are building an equestrian estate, and that in that estate you'll have young people being trained on horse riding almost weekly. You know, you will have a vet clinic. You know, we will train jockeys, you know, professionally. You know, we will start developing breeders locally, you know. We'll build stables there, allow people who do not have big farms or stables to take their horses and have them there, get them trained, you know, develop trainers, you know. So that's basically what we would want to do. But for that to work, you need to have a number of other events throughout the country where you can take your people, you know, knowing that they will be accepted because we have built for them a strong base that makes
You have shaped them.
that makes Eastern Cape a recognized brand in the horse racing industry.
Okay, and then that brings me to my next question. I've also seen that you are associated with Ncibza. Yes. What is that event all about? Is it an extension or a spin-off of Berlin November, or is another separate entity?
It is a separate entity, but very much influenced by the Berlin November. So it is a mini Berlin November. You know, that has a huge potential depending in that province, embracing it and packaging it properly. You know, we think that it will help to have more of these black-owned equestrian events throughout the country. You know, you have the Dandy July, you've got the Berlin November, you've got the Ncibza, you know. We are talking to some guys in Limpopo to have one there, you know. So once you have that, now you can now move horses from the Eastern Cape to KZN to Free State to Limpopo. You know, in that way, we're creating a strong community of similar thinking people who want to play in the space. So there's quite a lot to be done, not just in other provinces. I will not rest until someone in Qumbu runs an event similar to Berlin November, you know, because it can't just be one. You know, there is a Ngumbela one in Tyuwa. It's coming up nicely. It requires support, you know, even from us, you know, to coach them here and there. And so the more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
You see.
Okay, this might be the obvious question, but I think it's not the obvious or crazy question. Can you ride a horse?
I used to. I think I can. I've not tried. I'm sure my insurance
Won't allow. Won't allow.
I may need to first declare, you know, that I'm. Yeah.
Okay, let us go to the betting. How does the betting goes?
Oh, actually, are people already betting in Berlin, November?
They are betting illegally, but if you were to look at it, it's quite a lot of money. This is how they do it illegally. In one quantum, you have 10 people betting 10,000 each, which is 100,000, and you've got 10 times 10 quantums. So that's
Betting outside.
you see. So it's 100,000 times 10. That's 1,000,000. You know. So those people are sitting somewhere in the parking, waiting
For the horses.
for the horses, you know. Now it's not allowed, you know, because we are not a betting platform, you know. But also we need training. They don't call it betting, you know. It's like one saying Chiefs will win, and someone else saying Pirates will win, you know. In essence, it's a bet, but it's not a bet.
It's an illegal bet.
You get my point, you know. But because there is an exchange of money, it is betting.
It's betting,
You know. But someone say, I mean, if I say to you, if I win, give me this cap. You know, we are betting because there's an exchange. So we are working in closely with the Eastern Cape Gambling Board to use that platform to educate the industry about the dangers of gambling, you know. And so it lends itself, the Berlin November lends itself as a good platform because we are dealing with people that are more amenable to wanting to bet. So these are people who already are visiting betting houses.
Oh, okay.
You know, so they will want to do the same when they get there. But ours is to say to them, gamble responsibly. Gambling is allowed in the country, you know, but people must gamble in a more responsible way. You know? So we are using that platform to push that.
To push that. So within your plans, there is no interest in turning Berlin November into be one of the betted events.
There is, you know, remember that for you to have a toting license, you will need to have a declared race course. So a declared race course must have all the infrastructure for. So we are eyeing investors who could say one day, look, let us build a proper race course.
Proper race course.
You know, so that in that race course we could do a whole lot of other things. So we are open to those, and we have plans, but we're taking it one step at a time.
Okay. Then now, Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency, you assisting the province so much in accounting for a number of people that are moving from where they stay to Berlin. And all of these people, they are using resources. Transport, they are buying meals, they are booking accommodation, and all of that accounts directly to tourism.
Yeah.
So currently, what is the relationship or the involvement between the two entities, Berlin November and ECPTA?
Some few years ago, ECPTA declared us as a provincial signature event. So we work with them closely, and we also receive financial support, you know, from them. And the plan really in future is to find someone willing to invest in tourism infrastructure, you know, so that you have Berlin race course not only used once for horse racing. You know, we are now shaping it such that you could say next week you want to bring beginners, you know, to launch in the Eastern Cape, and you have a facility that will have fitted approaching facilities. It will have a legal license. It will have, you know, just your basic running water and electricity infrastructure, so that people can, from us, hire the venue to use for other events. So we want to see more events. You know, we are already planning for what we call the Berlin Easter Show in Berlin. You know, sometime next year if we have enough energy after this one. You know, but that is to say we want to see more
activities.
Events. I think there is an appreciation from the ECPTA as well that there are no mines in the Eastern Cape. The only driver of critical jobs will be tourism. So we need to invest much in it, work together as players in the industry. So what we've done this year, we have extended. You will see that we now have what we call a Berlin November weekend, which starts with the SABC Golf Day on Friday, the Food Festival on Friday in Berlin, Government Services Expo and Government on Wheels in Berlin on the 25th. So we think that people will then sleep around the Eastern Cape of Berlin. And then Saturday we've got the main event.
Good idea.
And then on Sunday we have the gospel show in Guild Theatre, you know. So then you now have people leaving on Sunday late or
Monday.
Yeah. So that is the only way you could push tourism. Tourism is it must be induced. It doesn't happen on its own. You know? So we need to. I always say to myself, when you go to other countries, you know, you see where Martin Luther King is buried. You know, thousands of tourists you find there every day. We now have Mandela here sitting in Qunu. Can you imagine if there was a pilgrimage, a yearly pilgrimage, where people go to Mandela on the 18th of July? People go, just allow them to pass. You know, just allow them to pass. Can you imagine how much that would do to the tourism industry? Not just in the Eastern Cape, but in South Africa. But
it's lacking. It's lacking somewhere there.
Else now, you know.
It's lacking. Then what's this love or fascination you have with Berlin? What is what is it that you find? What is it that you find? I mean, Berlin is rural.
Ntab'ozuko. The history of that place is richer. I mean, S.A.K. Mqhayi is, you know, and of course the rural nature or peri-urban nature of Berlin makes it more attractive to the type of sport. So it has everything to do with what we are doing. You know, we wouldn't want to have what we have in a town, you know, because the people we are servicing, you know, your horse owners, your riders, your jockeys, you're in more rural based. So a rural setting with enough land, you know, was more ideal. But of course, we have this conviction that Berlin as a place could easily be the Midrand of the Eastern Cape if we were to do correct investment, you know.
Okay.
If Midrand, which connects Johannesburg and Pretoria is that developed. Why is Berlin that connects Berlin and Bishop?
And Bishop.
Bishop, yeah.
Not, you see,
And
not
also
the-
King, yeah.
And you see, so we think that should be the next thinking of the province, that develop Berlin, develop that area, so that those people who stay in the backyards in Zwelicha and Pagamisa could have decent houses in Berlin. Mercedes-Benz is moving some of the component manufacturing to Berlin. They possibly will want to have housing, and all those things. You've got a university there. In Berlin campus of Walter Sisulu. So everything really is talking to a bigger Berlin than what we have now, and it will take us to make our little investments for someone else to want to come and make something big. We've got Apple there, you've got so many, some factories that you have there, factories that some of us are not even aware of.
We don't even aware.
So we're looking at the future of Berlin.
It has got all the supporting infrastructure in terms of water, in terms of bulk electricity, for it to be, because it's already an industrial zone. So it just needs focus.
It is suitable for the event.
It's critical for the event, but you want to do more things there. The event should be one. But also we shouldn't have an event in Berlin and people staying over in East London.
They should be staying in Berlin.
You see, that will happen if someone like you guys start investing in a smaller nyana B&B, that is upmarket, and then you will start having people who need to have meetings in Bishop deciding to sleep in Berlin than sleeping in East London. So
Not only people will be attending Berlin November will use the accommodation.
exactly, because the basics of human settlement everywhere in the world is such that you must stay closer to where you work and further from where you buy. Now we have here in the Eastern Cape the opposite, where people who work in Bishop are staying in East London where they shop, and then they commute to Bishop every day. 68 kilometers. You get my point?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. So we need to change those, because it is costing them. The reason why these settlements are designed in such a way that the richer, they stay out of town. You won't find your Michael Jackson staying in cities. They stay in
Outside, in the outskirts.
Cleveland, country, because they don't need to be in town because they're not working. So here we have more people who should be staying in far-flung areas, being the ones that are staying
in town.
in towns. It shouldn't be like that.
It's the mindset. And then Berlin November this year. What is the theme for this year?
The theme is chasing the rainbow, and of course I'm not very much clued up with fashion. Look at me.
I mean, song, when it comes to fashion,
but it was more to say after COVID, the whole essence of the rainbow, that it comes down to say the worst is over. So that was the thinking, to say it rained, but now, it's over, and the rainbow being a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity, to say let's come together, let us be bright, let us enthuse fun.
Yeah.
So that's basically what got us to arrive.
Okay. With that.
So these themes it refers to COVID or what? What is over? What is over? No, the theme. Does it refers to the situation that we had before, or
in essence, because we're coming from a darker period, and now we are more a crossover event, to this year being the first event post restrictions. We need to come out, more on the brighter side of life, cherish what we have left of us, and go to the event and be glamorous, be full of color, be full of fun. So that's the whole thinking process, and we then translate that theme to all the planning elements, from your decor to just the color of the event. We are introducing now the fun parks for children, bigger stuff that have not been seen in Berlin, So we want it to be a family day, We want people to go there and get help with their UIF issues, with their IDs, screen for TB, screen for HIV, all those things. So we're bringing those services,
all at once.
Yes, social development, with psychosocial support, social workers will be there. So we also are saying this is the platform to also educate, There are issues relating to GBV that are prevalent in
our community.
In summer, I think people don't want to be too much violent in winter, but summer is a problem. So we want to say it's 16 days of activism, and what is our role. So we will be having a number of campaigns, supported by the Department of Social Development, to say, look, let us have fun, must be happy,
but let's be responsible
in the true sense.
Let us behave in a responsible way.
Exactly. So that's our thinking, and of course we just came out of a new Benya situation. We need to say, look, substance abuse is a problem. Whilst the brands are coming all out to market alcoholic beverages, you need to have the balance. So we will also be, whilst we'll be dishing out alcohol, we'll also be having a campaign that says,
don't go
yes, you get my point. You see, yes, and because that has spillovers on a number of other things we do not want, like road accidents, So we want people to arrive alive, people to be safe on the roads, have fun, but think about tomorrow.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then now, I see mostly on social media, a lot of people, when they think of Berlin November, they think fashion, they think classy, they think it's like a mirage of an event where you go and show off. Now, Berlin November is broken into too many facets. Specifically, there is the summer stage, and there is prime lounge. Let's start there. What is the difference and what is happening there? There is someone who is confused now. They have not yet bought a ticket because they don't understand the difference between the two.
They don't know the difference.
The difference is price.
You are making things so simple.
You see, the what we've done, we've got the Berlin November as an event, as you are saying, with different facets. One of them being a music festival. So the summer stage is a music festival of the event.
Okay.
You know, so in that area, that is for music lovers, people who want to be. Of course, they will have a sense of the horse racing, but they don't really care about the horse racing. And those are the people that will pay 250 to be there in the controlled environment. Remember that the Berlin November is largely a free event.
Okay.
It is only cut into half. The other half is paid, the other half is not paid. So to be in the paid side, you know, where there are better amenities and facilities and things.
Okay.
And you know, that is the summer stage. And you've got a number of different lounges that are independently owned. You've got the Prime Lounge at 1.5 per ticket, with a number of packages. Maybe for 10 people is about 13.5. But those, by the way, those are sold out. And then you've got the G Lounge. The ticket is around 3,000, 3.4, sold out. You have Mtombo Palace. I think tickets are still available, which is named. It's a lounge that
named after
that to keep the memory of Mtombo alive. You know, so we said, look, we will work with the children
to keep his memory.
Yeah, so we are supporting that one. And then there is BMF lounge, you know, that is for BMF
members.
Members and anyone who buys a ticket and wants to be, you know. And then there is Infinity Lounge, which is also a private lounge, you know. And then we've got a summer lounge that is the VIP of the summer stage. So that one is 550. So there shouldn't be
any confusion.
Money should never confuse.
Money shouldn't be confused. So in a nutshell, utya kuzo zonke ezi lounges.
Not really. Me or
you talk about you.
No. Remember, we are offering a service, you know, and our success is very much linked to their success. If those marquees are not successful, then the event loses a bit of color. So that event is better when there are these, because remember that G Lounge is bringing some 200 odd people that we wouldn't have access to bring to the event. Infinity is bringing 300 that we would not, you know, because those are different groupings of ours is a Prime Lounge that has people that we understand, you know, and who are willing to pay 1.5 per ticket, you know. So yeah.
I hear you. And then there is a young guy. Okay. There is a young guy. I understand. And then now there is a young guy sitting at the back of a Rondavel, Enqathu, or Kuqoboqobo, or in Devon, or anywhere in the Eastern Cape. They want to have the Yamaki in the future. What are the steps in working with Berlin November? What are those important steps? Because we might think that people don't want to do these things, but we find out that they don't have the necessary information.
Yeah.
And you know our people, they like to be driven. Like uthi nanga manzi uphinde umbonise uba kuyasela
Yes. No, in fact, when I think if we sit with them, they will realize that it is not as expensive as people think. You know?
Okay.
All we need really is that you must, if you are saying you are bringing 200 people and the base ticket is 250, so you must pay that 250 because remember you are selling our tickets.
All right.
You are selling our tickets that you upsize, you know. You take a 250 ticket and you say it's 2,500 because you are bringing a marquee, you are bringing food, you are bringing, you know, artists in your marquee. But ours really is that base ticket that will allow you to get through the gate. What happens there is yours. So we're not really charging people for the space. We possibly will once we deal with influx where there are more people.
Yeah,
we
to
want
control.
We want to control, you know. But there are a few things that, of course, we must charge upfront. You know, a small fees not exceeding 6,000 will be your liquor license, your security, your waste management, electricity, water, ablutions, things that we still need to pay for ourselves. So, but instead of a structural engineer's certificate, you know, so that, I mean, structural engineer certificate alone is about 3.5. So it's so you find that really it's not much, because ours is to open the platform. It's not really to punish people by, you know. I know in other events, before you even talk, you know, you just pay for
pay upfront.
yeah.
Pay upfront.
You know.
So before sifike kuvuthwa ndaba that people want to hear, you know, the lineup. Before we get there, let me ask about you know that people or tourists, they care so much about their safety. That's the main thing. So about Berlin November, how safe is it?
I think it's one of the safest events, you know, for two reasons. That we have a good working relationship with the security cluster, where we plan all possibilities. One of the things we have introduced now is that the lighting must be done way earlier so that we can pick up even the blind spots. You know, we have fenced the whole facility. The facility is now demarcated that if you're moving to this area, from that area to this, you have a gate. You know, we have got about 4 gates now, each for each category of a ticket. You know, so that we can control the movement. But also because we have a largely non-paying audience, we are searching people before they are admitted inside. So no firearms are allowed, no weapons are allowed. So there will be thorough searching, you know, over and above our own security and police visibility.
So people are safe.
Very safe.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Now let us go to what people want to hear: the entertainment, the music, your lineup for Berlin November. You know, we've seen the lineup. You know, very good artists are there, such as Siphesihle. Do you know Cairo?
Yeah.
All right.
His favorite. His favorite.
No. I think he's kind of old. I don't know.
No. I actually listen to
This Amapiano
youngsters. They say, hey, you must bring Cairo. Then I go to the team, I say, bring Cairo.
Yeah.
And they say, Mr. P, you also know Cairo.
That's my concern. That's my concern.
Who doesn't know Cairo?
So my question is, how did you choose your lineup?
We work with local DJs who Black Spades is one of them. You know, we do not really, we're not that much involved in choosing the lineup. You know, we get a team of DJs that work together to tell us that locally we want so many, national artists must be so many, and these are the ones that are available, or these are the ones that are much loved, you know, during that time. So, or the ones that we have not brought in here, because also there is this proposition that if I were in the lineup last year, I must be in the lineup even in 2022, and especially with local artists, it's becoming a problem because we now are not introducing new talent. We are rotating the old, you know.
Now they end up being entitled as well.
They're not, yes, they are. You know, they are. So that's what we're trying to deal with, because we want to see new talent coming up. You know, we want, but of course, the other issue with Berlin November is that you remember that the marquees are independently owned, so we are not going to to prescribe to G Lounge who they bring. You know, they bring their own lineup. They've got their own celebrities that we do not, that we will only see that day. You know, we've got our own celebrities. Infinity has got their own, you know, so are artists.
Okay, and I've noticed that in your lineup this year, maybe it was an oversight on my side. I've noticed that you also have more of the actors that are from the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
There's Vusitanda, there's Andile Nebulane, there is there's Oros Magofu, Dumisani Mbebe. So what is driving that decision?
Oh, what must we expect from them?
The thinking is that we need to start celebrating our own. You know?
Okay.
So for us, you know, these are shining stars, you know, queens and kings of television. When people see them, they get inspired to want to do, you know, things. So that's really the persuasion, you know. Even on the artists, you know, we still, whilst we mix, you still need to have your Brian Temba, who is from here. You know, they are international, but they are from here. And of course, we had to balance. We have got Harrison Crumb from the US, you know. So that balance, you know, is very important. You know, he's never been here, so it makes much sense to have him around. And of course, there are other ones that are not from here, but they are much loved. You know, Marcus people want to meet the guy. So those are the people. But also we're bringing them here so that they can say to us what else could be done in the Eastern Cape in terms of growing the film industry. You know, remember that film is also a driver of tourism.
Yeah.
A lot.
So we are balancing things. You know, we're balancing things.
You know, some people maybe they were expecting that with these guys, you know, who are actors and actresses, you know, we'll be expecting something. You know, maybe we'll act up that maybe one scene or what. Or for example, that you know, Babu Vusitanda. We know him as Uchawe. Uchawe from Ncibza. Maybe you're gonna get entertained, you know, jokes, comedy, you know. So that's the reason why I'm asking. That's the reason why I'm asking you, you know, what must you expect from them? But no, some things must be kept
a secret.
Okay.
Keeping it in the bag.
Keeping it.
Yeah, as long as you know that he'll be here.
Okay.
You know, from there, anything is possible.
Okay. Let's play a very short game. What is your favorite tourist destination in the world? Whether you've You've already
You've been
visited,
there,
or you still desire to go?
or is it within the Eastern Cape or South Africa?
Now, first, let's do globally. Then we're coming back to South Africa.
Globally is south of France.
South of France. Okay. What is the reason?
I think it's quite relaxing, for me, people there a bit laid back, a bit oldish, so and it's quiet. I'm more the quiet type,
Relax.
Yeah.
In the
That's the
relax.
reason why I was asking you, Yamazo. Because I've seen this.
Yes. And then in South Africa,
Port
favorite destination?
Alfred.
Port Alfred. Yeah, I also love Port Alfred a lot.
Yeah, Port Alfred.
I love Port Alfred a lot.
Yeah. I'm also a skipper, so I like boating. So Port Alfred lands.
Is that place?
A licensed skipper.
That's good. That's good. And then one of my last questions. In Buffalo City, what do you think is missing, and what is your own view on how it can be fixed in tourism in Buffalo City specifically? What is it that is missing? Because on my side, and each and every time we shoot the podcast, I always hammer. It happens. I'm not doing it intentionally. It always hits me the fact that we are trying to build Buffalo City as a destination, but it's not yet attractive because of the buildings. You know the state of our buildings.
Yeah.
So with me, I would say they must make sure that the city is cleaned. So on your side, what is it that you feel, if it can be fixed, it would make it easy for Buffalo City to attract tourists?
There are a few things for me. One is that there is a conversation we are not having as stakeholders in tourism to say what drives tourism better in the Eastern Cape and what is the role of other agencies. The second one is that agencies are not, you've got municipality having a tourism agent unit, you have a tourism agency, you have, all of them, in my view, are not talking.
They are not speaking the same
They
language.
are not pulling together, A simple thing I've been asking, do we have as the city a metrics that measures the rand value that tourism brings to the city? Durban, on Monday of the Durban July, they will tell you that this city made 300 million
From tourism.
You see, do we have that? Do we have that measure? We do not have. We've got universities that could develop these metrics. I'm sure NMMU and Rhodes and WUS,
They can come up with something.
They can come up with something. So those are the things that, in my view, should be. And of course, the upkeep of buildings. It's always important that we truly look into it, because it is getting worse. Around Queenie, in particular, it's getting worse. It's going to be a risk soon for tourism. So, but again, lawlessness, it starts with vandalism, with us embracing. You see, the way we report about Amapara and vandalism, it's like it's an everyday thing.
It's a norm.
You get my point, but it has reached annoying levels, that the whole street will be without electricity because someone stole a cable, and you don't really get a sense that people are being arrested for this thing. So it's something that I think that we're in that conversation that I'm agitating for. That's a conversation we need to have, which talks to the role of all of us. It possibly may not be the role of the city alone to cap, this thing, but we think that there is a lot to be done. There must be a conversation with with the scrap metal companies, and get them accountable for people that sell
Stolen goods, stolen metal.
you see, signage. I mean,
signage.
On your way to Tanzania, the poles that they are just put on the floor because someone, and wayfinding and visitor orientation is key to tourism. So if you cannot find your way, because someone has cut a pole, you do not know where Berlin. I mean, to this date or day, you do not have signage to Berlin Racecourse. 9 years on, those are basic things. So it's a conversation. I think we need to have. We need to be deliberate about
It's a deep conversation.
about tourism. Make sure that all these. If you've got Igodamouth, you've got signage to Igodamouth. If you've got, be deliberate. They must not be. The signage must not only be for your normal tourist. No driver, a normal driver.
It must
To
also
say I'm going to
accommodate.
Queenstown, therefore it must be more tourist orientated. And I find that to be lacking.
Yeah, we really need to have these conversations a lot. And one other aspect that is missing is that the community needs to be educated about tourism.
Yes.
That's why we decided to build this platform. So every week we take one word or one term within the tourism dictionary that we have to explain what it means to someone out there who does not understand what it means. It's summer season. Everyone is going on holiday.
Yeah.
When we book accommodation, there is always that PPS. Do you know what it means? That PPS, maybe it says 10,000 PPS. And a lot of people, when they book accommodation, and then when they get there, they find out that, actually, this is not what I thought. This is not what I thought I was paying for.
Oh, per person sharing.
Per person sharing. Yes. A lot of people, but a lot of people that are watching now would be like, yeah, actually, I've seen this.
Yes.
And it
irritates me.
It irritates me because it's got implications.
No, it's tricky, even though when it gets explained, it is so straightforward. It's only that we do not like it.
We don't like it.
I prefer per room.
It does not. It does not make. Actually, to us, it does not make sense. We don't want it to make sense.
We want per room is. I know that I've got a room. If I decide to bring a friend, I don't have to account to you.
But
by the way, I may not even know that
the friend is coming.
I will have a friend, by 12 when I come back,
But the issue there, I understand why that is there. The issue is you own a hotel. I book for myself, and then I bring 2 people. When I go and have my meals, I expect to have meals that covers all 3 of us. That is one of the main reasons why that is done. Because it means whatever that is in that room caters for the number of people that are paid for. You would have, if it's 2 people, you'd have towels that matches the number of people that are being paid for, even the water, everything, even the meals, everything. But now, I go there and then I bring my entire family. The meal will only be for me.
Your family is your responsibility.
The family now becomes my responsibility.
And also, it is also about nuisance, really. You know that you're dealing with one person. Because you find that some of these people that are brought later, the contract has not been tightened. You know,
Oh, the contract is not valid.
the contract, it stops being valid, you know, by the time they get to the room. And then you must now deal with that thing, you know. And you do not have the name of the other person because in your record you had one person because you had arranged for one person.
Where is this second person coming from now?
Out of nowhere.
Okay, I think PPS is done now. It's done. Everybody understand PPS.
Yeah, no, from now on they would understand. From now on. Yeah, from now on they would
Just
understand.
go for per room, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Per
better.
room is fine.
Yeah, it's better that way.
Okay, before we close, there's a child there at home, little girl, little boy, who wants to be you or wants to be like you one day. So I need you to give that child motivating words of how can that child becomes you or like you one day.
I would say find a purpose, stick to it, and never fail.
Guys, we have a spoiler and a surprise. There is a picture that is showing somewhere here that is showing an attraction in the Eastern Cape. You must figure out what is that attraction and where it's located. You might win something. We don't know yet. You might get yourself one of these beautiful cups sent to you if you know what that is. And by the way, we thank you very much for watching and listening. Please make sure that you comment, you like, you share this episode with everyone, whether it's your friend, your enemy, your ex-girlfriend, your mother, and whomever. And for all other updates, new releases and competitions, and behind the scenes content, follow our social media pages at the Tourism Podcast. And we thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Siyabulela. Yeah, it was nice actually. It was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice. I'm pulling